Public Protector Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane will be releasing a number of investigation reports for the 2020-2021 financial year. For more on what to expect and perhaps to take stock of what's really been an interesting year for the Public Protector, let's bring in our reporter Pelane Phakgadi, who's got insight on what we should make of this moment. Pelane, great to have you with us. Those who are still working during this period.
Doesn't feel like the 21st, eh?
Indeed. Somebody's got to do it. But an important day nonetheless.
Yeah.
You know, we might be entering into the holiday season in the country, but the news cycle certainly showing no signs of slowing. The Public Protector set to give what I believe is to be her last briefing for the year. What exactly do we expect today, given the tumultuous months she's had in 2020?
Well, what a long year I would say she had. I remember earlier in the year when we were covering these reports, the quarterly reports, and some of the reports that she had released at the time were appealed and then, as a matter of fact, overturned. And that is something that I believe that will go down for her as a having had not really just such a good year in office since she came through. But I think the important part to talk to as well is that she is releasing this report amid the fact that she has been summoned to court already on the 21st of January next year to talk about those 3 charges of perjury in the SARS matter on how she conducted the investigation into SARS. And there is accountability now at the organization that took her to court, and she's confident that she'll be cleared, of course. And besides that, she's already having a challenge as well in Parliament there, where they want to discuss and find ways to remove the head of a Chapter 9 institution, and in this case, of course, the head of the Public Protector Unit of South Africa. So it has been a tumultuous year, as you already rightly put it. But today around 11 o'clock, we're expecting her to release a number of reports. Newsroom Africa will be there, and we do intend not only to receive the reports, but also to check with her, because we'll be in the same room with her, good enough, about her confidence in these particular reports, and on whether or not she feels that there's a precedent that has been set, that there could be an appeal on each and every single thing that she releases, each and every single report that she releases, which might end up back in court and perhaps even being overturned.
Absolutely. I mean, she's responded in some respects to each of the judgments as they've come. What's been, call it, the thrust of her take to, I guess, questions around her credibility? You know, I know, for instance, there's been moments where she feels some of the pushback is politically motivated.
Yeah, well, it has always been a case, and there were analysts who say that, well, if you go and play in a political circle, you are most likely to get a political revert. And she has been feeling, when we did interview her in the past, that she had every right to investigate the cases that were given to her. Remember, people come through and lay a complaint, and only then does she analyze and also make a decision to then investigate and then bring about her findings. And her stance was always to protect the public, as she said, and as well as to ensure that she runs her mandate. But I think what is also of importance is that through her tenure, so, the 2021 financial year came through with a clean audit, I think. I read. So it hasn't really been all gloom for her, but generally I'm quite certain that the core challenges from the Ramaphosa core challenges, the Pravin Gordhan core challenges that were brought about really also gave her some grey hair.
Absolutely, and that's just one way of putting it, right? In fact, just on Saturday, the High Court in Pretoria ruling that her report to do with Ivan Pillay, who we know is the former Deputy SARS Commissioner, and was given an early retirement package, that court ruling essentially found that the report should be set aside. But I'm interested to hone in on how much of the optics this is likely to change, the fact that she got a clean audit. Do you think it's enough to resurrect whatever strand of credibility is left of the Public Protector's office?
Look, I think it is one take to how she's been running the office, and the question is her not even about an ability. I would say the question now comes through to her reasons to investigating some of the cases, as already put out there. Some people would say she was not even supposed to be investigating some of these so-called political related cases. She should have let the courts do their work, and as well as to say that it also brings about that analytic as to whether was she able to fill in the so-called big shoes that her predecessor Thuli Madonsela managed to build through, to put through. And I'd say it's only going to be judged through her kind of work, what she's going to be releasing, and if, of course, the courts will stand by her should there be any kind of appeals to her work, whether the courts will be standing by her to say that her remedial actions, remember, they are binding.
Yes.
Her remedial actions will then have to be executed, and now that gives you the line of marches to say that she has been successful. And there's quite a number of cases, despite the ones that have been in the media, that she has been able to deal with decisively. The ones in Mpumalanga about the youth league leader who was involved in a lot of corruption there. I know that there was a lot of movement, and the police have dealt with that. Law enforcement officials have dealt with that. So a number of cases of which she has taken, and as well as a number which is in the mainstream media that she's also lost. So I'd say she has lost some, she has won some, and she also got herself a clean audit.
Absolutely. All right, before we let you go, any clues on what reports she'll be releasing today? I mean, typically the Public Protector's Office remain quite tight-lipped about what we can expect, but there have been a few issues that have been in the news cycle, not least of which some of the COVID-19 procurement issues we've seen.
Well, I think the procurement office issues around the PPEs could be a part of what we'll be bringing out, and I know that she's been working quite closely with law enforcement officials in dealing with some of the water cases across the country, Limpopo, Pelane Phakgadi to be exact, and as well as the Limpopo Northern Water. There has been some challenges there, so I know that she has been investigating some of those parts. The SIU has also been investigating. So I think it's a matter of, let's go there, let's go hear what she has to say, what she'll be bringing to us, and of course, in that sense, be able to interact with her. She's always ready for those particular interviews. I hope it is the case as well today.
Absolutely. Well, time will tell, as is the case with most things. Thanks very much, Pelane Phakgadi, our reporter, watching that story quite closely for you. We'll, of course, be bringing you the briefing as soon as it begins. The Public Protector said to release the final batch of reports into investigations she's conducted for the year 2020. It's been an interesting year for the Public Protector, and it's just one way to put it. We'll bring to you that briefing if it begins at 11 o'clock as planned.